Hey guys, Chum Kiu. A quick chat first, and don't rush over this to get to the dance, because if you watch this a few times and maybe even go and watch it every 3 months or so, it'll help you get a deeper understanding. And Wing Chun, really, everything is about understanding. It's a concept-driven martial art. So it's the concept that drives the physical aspects and not the other way around. Physically, what we do in Chum Kiu, right from the beginning, we want to look at it as being a dance. Before we start thinking about what it does, where it goes, all that, learn the moves as a dance. The shapes, the sequences, the directions. Don't attach any importance to them so you can make it nice and smooth and fluid, and hey, it's just a dance and you'll be able to do that, and that'll save you time. Chum Kiu is not a new form. Chum Kiu is an addition of, quite simply, two new things onto what we already know. And those two new things are shifting laterally and shifting rotationally. Otherwise, everything we do in Chum Kiu should be as if we've just finished doing the Silam Tao form, and now we're going to go through and just start doing the Chum Kiu form. So we see the connection. One big difference, of course, is the Silam Tao is passive, because we want to set that passive, that neutral baseline. And then we've spoken about turning on Crazy Horse, activating our body. This is what we want to do before we get into Chum Kiu, because Chum Kiu is actually dealing with an opponent. It's not a kata, but we want to be getting our body to understand that it's about force coming in, because that's what it is. It's Chum Kiu means seeking the bridge, which is a poetic way of saying making contact with incoming force. How we approach that mentally is of such critical importance. And what I mean by that is the force making contact with me, or am I making contact with the force? And quite literally, this is the difference between a punch is coming in. Do I move in and hit the punch, or do I set myself and allow the punch to hit me? And it's the latter. We want to think of ourselves like a big old rock in the ocean that a wave hits and just gets broken on. We don't want to think we're a little lifeboat trying to go into the face of the wave, because that's fraught with disaster. We've come into our being, and then we start doing Silam Tao. Everything we do in Silam Tao, we're moving down this lateral line, which is not a center line. Center line is here. Moving down this lateral line, everything we do depends on this lateral line. When we move to Chum Kiu, there's been a slight change of our body shape, but that's all. I've still got this lateral line going from, say, my sternum through my wrists. And as I move, this line, this focus line moves with it. So when I'm here, this lateral line of attention is moving with my wrists. This is allowing my brain to understand that I anticipate force coming from that direction, and my nervous system can make some adjustments to my structure so that the force will go through. And our nervous system does this with or without Wing Chun. So we're actually tapping in to an innate quality of our bodies. So it's quite important that we don't eradicate this. We don't have to do anything about it to make it work, except pay attention. We definitely don't want to be, which you see a lot. You see people that have their hands pointing over there, their focus is over there, and they're stepping this way. But, you know, that's not going to be of much use. So I'm always thinking that everything is coming out from me, no matter where I'm moving, which is exactly what we're doing when we're doing the Silam Tao form. None of the moves that we do are necessarily connected to a previous move or to a following move. Can they be used that way? Absolutely. It's mix and match. You can put anything with anything. They're put together in a sequence like a dance, so we can remember it. But if I've gone like this, there's not saying that I want to use that shape, that movement, and that orientation. It's saying that parts of this will be useful somewhere. Like I'm talking also about our lateral line coming out like the spokes of a wheel. The way we shift laterally in the form is going sideways and going forwards and backwards. We're expected to understand that that lateral line, again, like the spokes of a wheel, can be anywhere. So I could have done my Chum Kiu like this. Makes no difference, and it's of great value to play around with it, do it in different directions. In accordance with our principles of economy of movement, Chum Kiu does a lot of moves with 2 arms. I'm here, I'm here. This is simply so, whichever way you want to look at it, we get twice the work, or we spend half the time. Once you understand the dance and you've got yourself comfortable, we need to do everything with just 1 arm. So for instance, I would be going like this. And then I will come back and I will be going like this. Because these are the moves that we really need to understand, need to focus on, need to have the structure in place that we can transmit force through us, through the floor, everything we talk about. I hope that's it. I'll edit it if I need to, if I think I've missed something. But anyway, just anything in here, you got any questions? And I hope you do have questions. Bring it up, we'll talk about it, we'll go over it. As an instructor, my job is to make sure you understand the information, not just give you my opinions. So if I say something that doesn't make sense, just say, hey, you know, that doesn't make sense to me. Can you tell me in another way? We don't all use English the same way. Okay, let's get on to the dance. And remember, it is just a dance. Traditionally, the form is broken down into 3 sections, A, B, and C, but they're just to help you remember. It's not important to do them in that way, but sometimes it just makes a nice break. So the A section, we start off, like I've mentioned, how you would do the Silum Tau form. So you set yourself up, get everything ready, settle in, settle down. Chum Kiu is not a passive form, so we want to turn everything on, get ourselves so we're ready to do the business. This is simply to remind me that we are still doing the Silum Tau form. So that's the A sections. A couple of things to pay attention to there. Nothing in any of our forms is a way of setting ourselves up for the next move. Every move is important. And things that often get missed is when we've come from here and we fold our arms over. This is a very specific move that we want to pay attention to when we're doing the form, so we're not just moving in the wrong direction. We will of course go over it in person, in training, but the closer you can be in your form, and never be too worried about accuracy when you do it on your own. Just accept you're going to do it wrong, and then you've got no problems. So I'm not just getting ready. This arm is closing in at the elbows only and closing the shoulders. So it's not me contracting a circle. I'm bending the elbows and bringing the arms in from the shoulders and allowing everything to sink. So right away, we're creating multi-vectors without us needing to even be conscious of it. So this move is quite complex. Then you add to that we want to time it so that this finishes here. So it's quite a complex move. It's not just folding our arms and turning. So pay attention to that little bit and it will really help you. So like I say, that's essentially the A section. The B section, when I'm here, it's really important this weight has come into my rear leg. I should be able to do this and not lose my balance. And this is not a kick. This is just, we should think of this as a jam, and then we allow our weight to be compromised fall down. And if we're maintaining our verticality and all of our crazy horse, this comes up as a consequence. I'm not really dragging this foot or bringing this foot up. So from here, weight here, stop the kick. And you can think of this as a gentle extended step that compromises my position. So I'm not kicking, but I am trying to step over there, and I hold myself straight as I'm doing it. That's probably the most important part of the whole movement, because it's teaching us how to move our body mass and maintain our structure against incoming force. So you could imagine I've jammed a kick, and that's just my whole weight settling. It's very hard to disturb me if I'm not doing anything that's going to cause disturbance itself. An error all of us make at one time or another is we cut off the bottom of the circle and we punch across a flat bit. So instead of me coming down here, we'll actually come and we'll go across here. We get a little bit impatient. So just allow this to drop, and then when it gets to the bottom, just rotate the shoulder. I'm never really in the fist. That's more a Bill G thing than a Wing Chun thing, than a Chum Kiu thing. So I'm here, boom. And then this is coordinated so that my cut down is with my rotary shift. These are the key bits to this movement. Another important little thing to just be aware of, when we've turned here, this isn't one continuous movement. There's a lot of individual moves happening here. I could have just done this. I could have just done this. I could have just done this. So pay attention to all the little things, especially this. This unwinding and dropping down wants to be coordinated. This could be used up here against something I'm bringing down. It could be used here to stop a low blow or a low kick. So just have your weight in your arms all the way through. But these are the things we'll talk about in situ. So the C section, the key points of this are the jam with the half moon step kicking. Imagine I've done this, which is actually from the knives, but we can see how I'm sliding on this back leg. So it's all on my back leg. My knee wants to touch my elbow. And then again, that extended step pulls my body forward, maintaining my verticality, brings my rear leg up, moving all my body mass. A lot simpler than it looks. And then into the action here. So we've done our 180. We turn both feet. This is the cat stance, toe on the floor. You can have your heel on your foot to begin with, but it can even be up here. We can be Jet Li. From here, I'm going to jam and come back into my Yi Chi Kim Jung Ma. So this move from the jam to the Yi Chi Kim Jung Ma tends to get blown through, but it's really quite an important step-along thing. It's not necessarily something we would use here. Basically, I'm in a bad position, coming back into a good position, and then I'm going into a set of movements. So it's more about coordination, balance control, weight control than any specific move. So in the form we've got here, we've put on our cat stance, jammed, come into Yi Chi Kim Jung Ma, and then we have, essentially it's this part of Silam Tao. Looks different because my body is rotating, but I'm still just letting my arms come straight down from my body. Don't think that we're hitting any specific point. Again, it's about controlling my weight, controlling my balance. Cat stance, jam, Yi Chi Kim Jung Ma, and then into the finish straight from Silam Tao. And we all know where we are. Yeah, just play with it, just dance. We'll go over it. There are so many different levels to every form that this is just the bottom rung of the ladder. But it's essential we get this correct or we're going to struggle going up. But yeah, bring it in, talk about it, it's the only way.